Hello and welcome back to Bible Wits Bible Corner. Today we're going to continue in Acts 23. I am going to be reading from verses 8 through 14, starting with the English Standard Version. For the Sadducees say that there is no resurrection, nor angel, nor spirit, but the Pharisees acknowledge them all. Then a great clamor arose, and some of the scribes of the Pharisees party stood up and contended sharply. We find nothing wrong with this man. What if a spirit or an angel spoke to him? And when the dissension became violent, the tribune, afraid that Paul would be torn to pieces by them, commanded the soldiers to go down and take him away from among them by force and bring him into the barracks. The following night the Lord stood by him and said, "Take courage, for as you have testified to the facts about me in Jerusalem, so you must testify also in Rome." When it was day, the Jews made a plot and bound themselves by an oath neither to eat nor drink till they killed Paul. There were more than 40 who made this conspiracy. They went to the chief priests and elders and said, "We have strictly bound ourselves by an oath to taste no food till we have killed Paul." New Century Version. The Sadducees did not believe in angels or spirits or that people will rise from the dead, but the Pharisees believe in them all. So there was a great uproar. Some of the teachers of the law, who were Pharisees, stood up and argued, "We find nothing wrong with this man. Maybe an angel or a spirit did speak to him." The argument was beginning to turn into such a fight that the commander was afraid some evil people would tear Paul into pieces. So he told the soldiers to go down and take Paul away and put him in the army building. The next night, the Lord came and stood by Paul. He said, "Be brave. You have told the people in Jerusalem about me. You must do the same in Rome." In the morning, some evil people made a plan to kill Paul, and they took an oath not to eat or drink anything until they had killed him. There were more than 40 men who made this plan. They went to the leading priests and the elders and said, "We have taken an oath not to eat or drink until we have killed Paul." Okay. So, here again we have Paul, who, as I said in yesterday's video, still calls himself a Pharisee. The Pharisees stand up. They believe in angels and spirits, and they believe that people can rise from the dead. And they say that they find nothing wrong with Paul. They don't find any guilt in him. Sadducees, on the other hand, they don't believe in angels. They don't believe in spirits. They don't believe in the resurrection. So, of course, that's why this argument is happening. Now, one thing that I find funny about all of this, I'm going to kind of bounce around a little bit here. A group of these people make an oath to not eat or drink anything until Paul is dead, until they kill Paul. Well, there are passages that say, "Be careful what oaths you take. We are not to make certain oaths, and I promise on such and such person," kind of thing. So they're treading on thin ice, as some people would say, with making an oath like this, because how long can they go without eating or drinking? So with that also, how serious would they take their oath? So there's all sorts of questions to be thought about in that scenario. Now, let's back up. Jesus is standing next to Paul. Tells him basically, hey, don't worry. You've done what you needed to do here in Jerusalem. Now, you need to go and do the same in Rome. So he continues to spread God's word. Jesus comforts him and lets him know, hey, you're going to be fine. You're not going to be killed here. You still got this to do over in this area. Now, Jesus does not speak to us in the exact same way as he did to the apostles, as God and Jesus did to the prophets in the Old Testament. The way Jesus speaks to us today is through this, his word, the Bible. And in that, in reading God's word, we do find comfort in knowing that as long as we continue to do God's word, we have nothing to worry about because we know what our end result is. So, and Paul, he even says later on, I have run the race, I have fought the good fight, I am ready to go home and meet my Father. He says, like I say, he says that later on. Are we to that point? That's a question we need to ask ourselves. Am I to that point? Are you to that point where you can say, I have run the race, I have fought the good fight, I am ready to meet my Father? I hope you find encouragement in this, and I hope you have a wonderful, God-centered day. Bye.